The episode in which we have no clue what we're doing whatsoever.
This may just be the standard for the rest of the episodes as well.
Well, at least one season.
So, yeah, the lower we set it, the higher we can reach every time. So
Exactly. It's going to be a success because we'll talk and therefore success.
yeah, that's right. It's talk plus something equals profit. Oh, that's right, viewers. Damn it.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you guys, but a podcast may not be the best way to actually make money.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've heard the rumors. I think the only way is to get sponsorship.
Perhaps. So are we are. Oh yeah, there it says it right there.
Yeah, it says it right.
Well, why don't I get us off to some kind of a beginning, and by
I would love
saying
you to get me off.
hello, I'm Swingy.
And I am Godfrey.
And I am Ben.
I am also out of coffee. God damn it.
I got your coffee right here, my friend.
Damn it, don't touch me. I have to drive this afternoon.
Alright, so, the 1st of January, 2016.
Yeah, start of a new year.
It is. Do we open up with something hacky like New Year's resolutions? What's your New Year's resolution, Godfrey?
Well, I've had a tradition over the years of making the most ridiculous New Year's resolutions, because let's face it, we all make New Year's resolutions and never do them. So
It does tend to
why
happen.
go half measures? So this year, I'm going to learn Mandarin.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good New Year's resolution to never do. I like it.
Also, just
okay.
to throw a bone to young Drew, I plan on being the very first porn star into space.
Ah.
Really?
Mm.
First porn star into space. Well, we can definitely touch on that one as we get into SpaceX and Tesla, because
Yes. Good year for them.
there has been a lot happening in 2015 on that. I'm sure we'll cover it. But as far as New Year's resolutions go, Ben, what do you think, brother?
I'm not usually one for resolutions. I'm sure at some point in the year I'll try and quit smoking again, because that seems like a thing you should do every year. Yeah. No, apart
That's
from
actually
that,
something that I did this year as well, and it hasn't really lasted.
I can tell.
So yeah, that will probably. I'll just count that as my one, and that will do.
Quit smoking.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, Ben. I haven't done much of the. I think a long time ago I did do the New Year's resolutions, but now I just have goals, and the goals don't seem to be something that come with the new year. It's just they're always on a horizon point somewhere, and whether that's achievable in this year, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
I think for mine it would be get all of my shit set up to start working on my game. That's been one for a very long time, but I'm just going to punch in my card again this year.
Oh, that.
We'll hope that one works out.
It's a good time to do it. You've got new wave of consoles. You've got the Windows 10 Universal stuff. It's a good time to do it.
Of course. Unreal Engine 4 is free.
Yeah.
Up to, it's either 30 grand or 3 grand. After that, you pay 5% royalties to Epic Games. But there would be a lot of indie developers, and I know that originally I was myself, maybe because I just spent like $1,500 on a Unity license, which I didn't use. But like a lot of people go, oh, I'm not going to give away 5%. It's like, yeah, but you need a game first before you're going to even get to that 30 grand. So you might as well use an awesome engine like Unreal. They made it really good for Unity for indie developers. And I think that was this year. Oh, sorry, 2015. That is the theme of today. that it went free, which is a massive thing for indie devs. So I think you're right, Ben. He just walked away, but we'll pretend he's listening. God's listening.
Oh, he's listening, but he's just he's got a cat to deal with.
Yeah, apologies. That was the first of most likely many cat interruptions.
Excellent. Cat interruptions. That's just going to be a thing in the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to tie that one up nicely, you're right. The consoles are providing a platform for indie developers to get in through their respective online stores. You've got these awesome engines like Unity, Unreal, even CryEngine. You know, Star Citizen is doing very well for itself.
Yeah, making
over 100 million in funding, I think, and that's through the CryEngine. Yeah, it is a very good time to do it. Whether I do it or not, I'm looking for something wooden to touch. Touch wood. It'll all work out.
Definitely think you should.
So it's a bit of a long-winded answer, but yeah, that would be my one.
I cut out a bit there, Godfrey, but I'm assuming that was a wood joke.
No. It wasn't actually.
No, you haven't heard that term before? Like when you don't want to jinx yourself, you say touch
I've heard
wood?
the term. It wasn't what I was saying. I was saying you should start a Kickstarter.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Star Citizen it.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, the plan for my project when it finally hits off the ground is you create the gameplay demo first, so you've got a product. And then you show that through Kickstarter, because you've got all these guys going on Kickstarter, and all they have is really like a nice interview of themselves, a bit of concept art, and I think people have been burnt more than enough times in Kickstarter funding to just throw money away. Like I think they're getting a bit cluier for when it comes to throwing money at big names. For example, I'll use Tim Schafer, creator of Dave the Tentacle and many later very well-loved games, Psychonauts being one of them. I heard, I'm not entirely sure on this, except one of their Kickstarters fell through, maybe? Maybe I'm going to have very angry comments telling me that I screwed the pooch on that one, but I think one of them did fall through for everything else that he's done right, except a name shouldn't sell a Kickstarter. I think there's got to be space for the indies to do their thing if they've got the product, you know?
Yeah, I've got the article up now, actually, and it was a game called Broken Age.
Yep.
And yes, they got over $3 million in funding by the looks of it.
I do remember that Broken Age, the 2D adventure, point and click adventure game, was getting a resurgence through Kickstarter. That's the one that fell through.
Yeah.
That's a shame, man.
Yeah, it's well beyond the. He just said he designed too much game. And a half-done version is coming out on Steam Early Access.
Wow, and so are we seeing the backers getting refunds, or are they getting screwed?
No, basically what happens is it's coming out on Early Access.
Yeah.
And then it says here, before the game's planned launch and long before Kickstarter backers will play what they paid for in order to fund the final half.
So it's empty promises like that I think are making buyers more wary, which they should be, because like you look at the Oya, which I think was before 2015 even.
It was. That was a joke.
Yeah, it got released and everyone was enamored with this idea of like a $50 gaming console running on Android, and it was just poor build quality. They really just didn't have the foundation, the resources to do something that Microsoft and Sony do. Like Sega didn't survive. Nintendo, apart from the handheld stint and fans' attachment to nostalgia, are not doing as well.
And I think the big mistake that they made is that touchscreen games don't really work that well on a TV.
Oh no, exactly. And they've always been one uh, to like recreate or make something new, to be inventive. Um, but it's more of a case of what cost at this point.
Yeah.
They're trying to keep it new and inventive, and I think what a lot of players want is just a console that is the same speed or faster than what
Yeah.
we're seeing with Xbox, PlayStation, and with classic Nintendo games on them, but just that run well with good internet infrastructure.
Which we may be a bit out of
When
luck
they,
here in Australia for that.
um, true, but PS4 and Xbox One multiplayer gaming are burgeoning here at the moment. Like, we always get screwed the pooch on particular servers.
Yeah.
But it's still very playable comparable to the Wii U and their how they've approached the internet in general, which has always been haphazard compared to.
Yeah. Nintendo can't do online, basically. They just don't know how to do it.
Yeah, and
Apparently,
they
that
have
gameplay being put on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, that was a joke.
that's
Yeah.
right. That happened as
Yeah.
well. There's a big backlash from that.
Yeah.
It just shows a clear misunderstanding of internet, but also I think it speaks to the almost the empirical hierarchy of the company itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Extremely Japanese, steeped in Japanese culture. Obviously, that doesn't wash because we're also talking about PlayStation when it comes to this, which doesn't have that. But I think it's like with any technology-based company, if you've got too many old dogs calling the shots, they might not be able to see the bigger picture with growing technologies, which is why they're getting left in the in the dust. And we've got companies like Netflix or something which are relatively young but understand the technology they're dealing with,
Yeah.
destroying everything. I think Netflix is on the biggest roll out of everyone right now. Obviously not surpassing Google just because of what they do, but as far as rapid expansion goes,
Well, I mean,
Netflix are all over it.
Yeah, they've only been available in Australia for what, less than a year. And before that, we had a big VPN uptake anyway. But they've also already passed Foxtel in subscriber numbers.
Yeah, and it's completely unsurprising.
Yeah.
You don't need someone to come around, install anything. The internet is there, it's here. It's why we can talk to these beautiful, I hope, people listening to us. Netflix, they definitely know what the go is.
I mean, it's just, it was such a simple thing. It's like, oh, wait, you give people what they want whenever they want at a reasonable price, and they like that?
Oh,
like,
exactly.
That's the thing that Foxtel just can't understand.
Well, yeah, because they are stuck in a business model. It's kind of like Blockbuster trying to catch up with things like Netflix or precursors like maybe Hulu or Amazon Fire or things of a similar ilk. Okay, yeah. And it was all really kind of knocked out of the park with you beautiful viewers might not realize, except I'm a massive Windows man. But I'll give Apple their kudos when it's due, and so what they did with the Apple Store and then with iTunes, absolutely, well, iTunes first, I guess, was absolutely amazing. How do you circumvent something like piracy? You just make it more convenient for someone to pay $1 for a song than to go through the hoops of, in that time, maybe Napstering or now torrenting or simply go to YouTube. It's all there. And even now, Spotify is taking over things like that. Yeah. It just shows how fast it's all going.
Which Apple does not like, by the way.
Pardon?
Apple does not like that Spotify is getting the lion's share of that.
No, they Apple Music.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and it does work. My personal piracy has gone down substantially to nearly nothing since Netflix.
Yeah.
It's only stuff that's not on Netflix that's not available in Australia that I will still totally not pirate.
Of
Well, I mean,
course.
that
And
was
why
the
why
original
why
Purchase
would you?
legally.
Yeah, of course.
well, that was the original theory for why there was so much piracy in Australia, because there were so many things that we didn't get that America got.
Yeah.
And it's
Or
absolutely
you,
the truth. Game of Thrones, for instance.
yeah,
If
you
it
can
was
only get it with a
available for us to
60.
watch, we'd watch it.
But we can only get it with a $60 Foxtel subscription.
Which
Yeah, even
Telstra
then,
now.
they still make us jump through more and more hoops just to get content, which we can get far easier
Yeah.
through illegal means.
Yeah, Game of Thrones, they really Foxtel really shot themselves in the foot there when they made it so that you couldn't buy the episode on iTunes straight away. They made
Yeah.
iTunes wait until the season was over so that they could have exclusivity. And they said, oh, well, this way our subscriber numbers will go up. Well, no, the opposite happened. The piracy numbers went up.
Exactly. It's just another a thing to show of how Suits can see a business model or something, and they are so like. Of course, you're running a business; you need to be driven by the dollar. Except they're losing out because they are so driven by this business model that they are not recognizing that you need to circumvent one of the truths of humanity, full stop, which is laziness,
Yeah.
to get things working. Netflix have done it, Spotify have done it. You know, previous to that was Pandora.
Yeah.
And yeah, these companies they're really on the back foot, and it's going to be interesting to see with their kind of infrastructure how if they fight back with any kind of interesting business model, because they have the ability to. Just will they wake up to themselves and actually do it, or say, if we don't do it, we still have our subscriber base, older people that aren't in touch with this technology, will we let go of that market of young people that will just go the easier route and stick to the older types that are already paying for it, that's already on their subscription, and just ride that out. And I'm thinking they're doing the latter.
I believe so, because to be honest, I think it's too late for them with Foxtel. Once you've had Netflix, why would you switch back to something like that?
I mean, to play devil's advocate a bit, I dare say Foxtel are just trying to get back the money that they, the buttload of money that they paid for exclusivity of Game of Thrones. Like, they would have paid a shit ton to get that over here. But the only way to make the money back and make a profit is to charge $6 for a Foxtel subscription.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you guys still seeing my face?
Yes, I am.
I must be on like 2% battery, so I'm just going to be sucking down this cigarette and then running upstairs, putting the charger in, and continuing.
Well, if you want, I think there's a portable battery pack in my room. You can just plug it in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. You go into my room, on the bedside that's closest to the wardrobe, underneath the shelf, there is a little blue rectangle, which is the power pack.
Micro USB?
Yep. There might even be a cord in there too. Now I just realised the entire internet's know the layout of my bedroom.
It's alright, I can deal with this.
It's alright, they're about to see
Hopefully my phone doesn't die.
I don't know, knowing the state of my room, I hope it does die.
It's when your love life is intrinsically locked to your internet connection.
If you see something that looks like a dildo, it's not a dildo. Just trust me, it's not a dildo.
God, if you just told me where I could find a portable battery pack.
Dildo?
Set it under
I'm gonna ask
his side bedside
We're off to a
table
good
in the
start,
room.
guys.
Which side does he sleep on?
The right side if you're in bed.
You know what, I'm
The
just going
right side if I'm in bed. Alright, so that's the left side.
to.
Alright.
I want to mute it, but I don't want to either.
It was very difficult. Alright.
Well, I did say the side of the bed closest to the wardrobe.
You did, and maybe I forgot what you said.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's at the side table.
Yeah. Should be under the first shelf.
Where? Okay, the first shelf.
Nope. He's dropped.
Oh no. Oh. Okay, so have we lost him or is he?
I don't know. I don't know. Sweeney, say something. I don't think we've lost him. We've just lost camera feed. I can't hear him, but according to this, he's still in the chat. Let's just. I'll just mute him momentarily until he comes back.
Okay.
So, do we want to, since in Sweeney's absence, move on to some of the highlights of 2015?
Indeed. Let's do that.
Hang on a sec. I swear to God, dog, if you piss in here, you're getting out. Okay, apparently he's just rubbing himself in the lounge. Anyway, I keep forgetting this is live.
we can edit this, right?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, let's just go with that. We can totally edit it, and it'll look professional. It's fine.
Alright, so...
Alright, well let's start at the start.
The year.
Let me have
Don't slap your mouse a little bit harder. I don't think it heard you.
Oh. Let's have a look. Okay. Well, so you say highlights, but I'm just looking through these lists of events, and there's not many highlights. It's a little depressing.
Okay, lights then.
Lights.
Yeah, not highlights, maybe low lights.
Lowlights. Right. Well, let me have a look. Actually, no, there was a highlight. Tony Abbott is no longer our Prime Minister. That is a highlight. That counts as a massive highlight.
That is a highlight. I think we're jumping ahead a bit there.
We are.
That is definitely the most highlighted thing of the year.
It is. Here we go. It's a light. Tony Abbott knights Prince Philip, sparking leadership speculation.
Yeah, wow. That was
Oh, I would just love, I would just have loved to have seen his Prince Philip's actual reaction. And so, I mean, his name is already like this long with all the titles that he's got, and then the Queen. Oh, they made you a knight in Australia. I would just love to see that reaction.
Yeah,
well, I could give less of a fuck.
Oh, now I really wish you would say that. Well, I mean, I think what Abbott was trying to do was pander to the media and pander to the public, but it had the opposite effect of everyone thinking he's a complete idiot.
Oh yeah, one of the many times we all thought that.
Well, I was going to say it's not like it's the first time, and I definitely don't think it'll be the last. Although he's out of the media somewhat.
But yeah, that was just one of many astoundingly stupid decisions.
Yes, many. I think you're developing a bit of a laundry list of those crimes against us.
Well, I did get for Christmas. I got a book of the headlines from the government that broke satire.
Oh yes.
Where it literally became impossible to satirize the government because they were just doing it for themselves. You look through this book and there's all these articles and it's just like, that looks like an Onion headline. That looks like an Onion headline. Oh wait, he ate a fucking onion. That still looks like an Onion headline.
What, you mean this headline?
Yes, that was the one. That was the one. Yeah, it just got to the point where, and it's so bizarre when you look back at it now, and you're just reading all these things, and you just go, yeah, that was normal for us. Like, we all just thought, oh yeah, that's what happens. Like, that's how our country goes. It was just so bizarre.
And just look at the serious look in his face.
It's like it's a car crash. You want to look away, but you just can't because he's eating a fucking raw onion.
Tony Abbott.
Come to that point of time.
Yeah.
Well, what a mess that was. What do you think?
Tony
The
Abbott?
most
Well,
like, I don't know enough about politics to really comment, but I can comment on how much did that guy almost seemingly go out of his way to be hated by most everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he did that before he was in power. He did a good enough job of that.
Yeah, like, I kind of, apart from like what you think of his policy and and everything like that, maybe it's just because of my disconnect. But I see a man like this the same way I see Trump, as just pure entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you just break from the fact that this person might actually be a leader of people or already is our leader, like, you have to really repress that shit.
Yeah.
And then just see it as what's happening now. It was like, another big thing that happened in 2015 was the Toronto mayor.
Oh, yeah, the crack smoking mayor.
Yeah, the crack smoking mayor. What was his name? Rob something? He was fucking hilarious.
Yes. Except for the fact that he was running a town. It was...
Yeah, well, except for that. It's a lot easier to disconnect when it's not my town, but it's, wow, you just follow that more than any actual reality TV show. Like, you couldn't write that shit and have anyone believe it, but that's what happened.
Yeah,
Sounds like
and you are right, it's like Trump. It's hilarious, but you just really, really hope that he's not going to get into any sort of position of power.
No.
Like, it's
But
funny
then you
now.
also but then you kind of think, I don't know, maybe I just kind of think it instead of some kind of sick sadomasochistic pleasure. What if he did get in?
Oh.
Like, what would happen? Like, you guys, like, bear with me for a second. What would happen?
I would give him a week before he declared war on either China or Mexico.
It's like he definitely talks big, but I really wonder, of all the crazy shit he talked about, massive war, the massive wall between there and Mexico, making a registry for Muslims. It's none of that shit would ever get through Congress.
No,
It would never happen.
If it did, you can imagine Trump's face. He'd be sitting there with a cigar in one hand and cognac in the other and just going, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
I actually did it.
It's just how classic would it be if he actually did get through as the Republican primary and then was running against, say, Hillary, because I guess she's going to be the one that's going to be on the Democratic end. In the lead, about to win, and goes, well, America, you're fired. I pull out of the competition. I just wanted to prove I could do it. I'm a billionaire. Why do I need to get a $100,000 a year job as president?
I would actually love to see that. I would genuinely love to see that happen.
It'd be amazing. It wouldn't happen. He'd totally take the crown, but...
Oh. I just love the fact that one of his main policies, which is the wall between Mexico and the US, was in a goddamn Robert Rodriguez movie. Like, that's how ridiculous it is. That was in Machete. And he's talking about doing it for real. Like, can we send that Trejo after Trump?
I don't know. I don't think Trump would let him even near him because he might take his job. Yeah. Trump was very big in the news over the last year, and someone else is massive in the news. Not politically, but was definitely in there. Couldn't even get away from it. Was Mr. Bruce Jenner, or as we say now, Caitlyn Jenner.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's people on all sides of it. You've got your you've got what any fucking regular people would think, which is well, good on them.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the opposite end, like the super religious side, saying, well, that's just an abomination, which haven't been that sort of up in arms. And then in the middle, you have kind of this meandering, just kind of making fun of the guy, girl, whatever.
Yeah. I personally think it was, of course, it was going to be massive news because she's basically a Kardashian, so naturally it's going to make huge news. But it did a very good thing is that it drew mainstream attention to trans people and to the struggles they go through and to trans rights. And I think whatever you think of the whole celebrity thing, she did a good thing. It drew attention to something that needed to be talked about.
I completely agree. But I also have kind of another take on it, which is, I might have said this the other night to you guys, Bruce Jenner was always seen as the Fuddly Dudley, and had been around celebrity for a while because he was in Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Now, whether or not that played on the man's emotions to a point that made him think that the life of a woman in the limelight would be a better one, and he's gone down this particular route, or whether it was not anything to do with it at all, I think is pulled into serious question. Not saying that the guy had his penis chopped off and went through all of that purely for popularity's sake, because that's just silly.
Mm-hmm.
But
no,
when you live in the zoo that is that life, like Kim Kardashian's husband's Kanye, like it is, and I don't see, apart from Kanye West, who we all know is a douchebag, I can't see what any of them do to warrant the amount of media attention that they seem to get. I think that would seriously screw with someone's sense of self-identity. Because the guy was very clearly straight for a very long time, and then so I guess that kind of flies in the face of maybe not everyone that's gay is born gay. Maybe some people do end up changing their mind down the line, because the human condition is very malleable.
Is he gay or is he just trans? Because I don't know if he's gay as well.
Oh, totally gay, man. It has to be. I don't think that Caitlyn Jenner is now looking for a girlfriend.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of men are just like, I like the sound of this lesbian thing. I should get involved in that.
Yeah, good point. Good point. I just can't help but think, and I'm not making any assumptions. I'm just putting the cards on the table that a lifestyle in the shadow of this, and then being on this massive stage and being put out as basically the fuddly dudley guy that can't get anything right, when he's actually like I'm talking about at the time, he was a gold medalist for the Olympics. he had done so much in his life. It's absolutely ridiculous. Way more than any of the rest of those guys combined have actually done.
Doesn't take much.
Well, exactly. I think. But when I do say yes, good for you, I definitely say yes, good for you. I think anyone that identifies how they identify as is great. Why not? But I do have those questions, you know. And also, I think that in this politically correct world that we live in, a lot of people applauded the whole Woman of the Year thing. I don't personally agree with it. I can see what they did. It's very transparent. It makes a lot of sense. And it was a big step for the guys that gave out the award. But a lot of women did great things, and they shouldn't have been shorthanded a movement or a sexual identity that is actually not them. If that makes sense.
I can see where you're getting from there. Yeah.
Thoughts, gentlemen.
I think the award the point of that was just more to say, basically, we recognise you as a woman, and this is our way of showing it.
Exactly. I agree that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Do I
a lot of women
think? But I think that there was, you know, I'm not going to wax lyrical of what we saw on the internet, which was a lot of like war hero women. I can't pick anyone specific and say, you know what, that's a real woman, they deserve it, and run the risk of being like, well, that's a real woman, this one isn't. But
that's a debate you definitely don't want to get involved in.
well, but it's one that I think, you know, would it be such a massive thing for, I don't know whether it was Times that did the Women of the Year or who actually did it. But why didn't they decide to make a Transgender of the Year? Or like, because someone identifies as a woman, I think, at the risk of pissing some people off, that still doesn't mean that someone can be, that someone is actually a woman. We can't forget actual science and the fact that somebody is a woman because they're a woman, or someone's a guy because they're a guy. Like you're seeing a lot of massive things in the States right now, struggling with this, which is boys or girls that identify as the opposite gender being allowed to use the bathrooms of the opposite gender in schools. And when you don't want to step on emotional toes, you don't want to seem intolerant, there has to be a line. You know, because what's the point of having these signs if their meaning becomes befuddled within within what is essentially a personal choice? That's my point. Thoughts? Sorry, we've got a little bit deep from where we were.
That's only what happens when you're drinking.
That's what this is all
No,
about.
alcohol actually has nothing to do with this. I think it's something that's worth talking about.
Oh no, I'm not saying that you're drunk and just rambling. All I'm saying is it's helping you express a little bit further than you possibly would have.
Perhaps.
A positive comment, not a negative.
Thank you, sir.
Possibly a little bit jealous because I have to drive in a few hours and therefore I cannot imbibe.
You poor soul. I do feel for you.
I know.
So to break it down, I guess, more, just to keep this conversation rolling, I'm not hearing a lot of replies, so I'm thinking that maybe I'm sensing the opposite opinion, and I would love to hear it.
No, certainly not for me. I don't know too much about the issue, so I'm just hearing a lot of the
Okay, well, okay, I guess I'll open this. I guess panels like this should be a discussion forum where you say something and then people say what their opinion on that is. So we'll get away from Caitlyn Jenner. That's a massive thing on its own.
Yeah.
But we'll go into the politically correct nature of the world, to the point of students going into the opposite sex bathroom. Primary school students, like, you don't want to hurt the children's feelings, of course not. And if they want to go into a particular bathroom, you kind of have to foster and help them through that identity. I understand that. But there's a lot of, kids aren't adults. And there's a lot of little kids out there that won't understand why there's a girl in the guy's bathroom, why there's a guy in the girl's bathroom, and it's nothing to do with any kind of sense of homophobia or anything like that.
Well, it's somewhat
It's
of an
just kids
environment
will be kids.
Like we're the ones that made that separation. Like, granted, we've gotten rid of the non-white restaurants and the non-white cafes, and therefore, obviously, the non-white toilets. So we've got an array of race issue, but there's still a sexist system of toiletries. Like, there's only granted, I know there's perverts out there, but come on, there's a very small amount of people that really want to do anything other than go to the toilet when they're in those sort of environments.
I think as well, as long as they're educating the kids properly, it does mainly have a positive effect. If they explain what's going on and why it's happening, and they're all very open about it, you see little to no backlash from the kids. The parents may kick up stink, but from the kids themselves, they're at that age where they sort of just go, oh, cool, okay, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, very, very, very good point. But I think there's also a sense of people almost lying to themselves in that, like, okay, I identify as a woman, but now I can't have a child, now I can't menstruate, or, these things. And you do hear these things. And it's how deep into, and this is going to sound terrible, the word I'm going to use, but I think it's fitting, how deep into the delusion do you want to feed it as a child, saying, no, yes, you're a girl, or yes, you're a boy, before questions that really, like to you or I, are very easy. Well, you're a guy that thinks they're a girl, except there's a massive mental health issue. I'm not saying the people that do this are crazy whatsoever, but it is obviously something which is a massive struggle in that. And I think pandering without education, and I think that's my major issue, is that in lieu of offending, a lot of people might just go, might just simply say, yes, you're a girl. Or might simply say, yeah, you're a guy. And we all know many gay and many straight guys, or many gay guys, straight girls, or whatever. And I've known a few transvestites and one or two transsexuals in my time. And, all very interesting people, but never a bad connotation from them whatsoever. But without offending, how do you keep just, like, you know what I'm saying? It's really hard to put into words.
I think what you're saying is that rather than just agreeing, there should be education. So what you're sort of saying is you explain to them what that is and how some people feel like that, and then you say, so is that what you're feeling? And then if they say, yes, that's how I feel, then you go, right, okay, that's fine. Now we know what's going on.
Well, yeah, as long as we don't lie to ourselves, as long as somebody will say that they identify as this. When you get to the point of I'm saying I'm something I'm not, like there was that for a bit of a same but different thing, you had that white woman who did a lot of black community work and was in a black rights activist group for the longest time, and always had cornrows, very, kind of dark skin, and she would sell herself as someone that came from the streets until her parents came out and said, actually, you were brought up this way, and this is somebody identifying as that. This woman got a massive backlash.
Understandably.
Yeah, I think a lot of the backlash came from the fact that she would openly say, and kept, after the parents came out as well, she kept saying, I'm black.
Well, exactly, but isn't that, in a similar sense, someone saying I'm something I'm not? And it's very hard to have this discussion without people perhaps conceiving that there's any malice or anything behind it. I'm purely talking about scientifical definitions, and we shouldn't let go of those because that is how we explain reality in the world, to kowtow to feelings. Like, we can kowtow to feelings and people should be fine, but we shouldn't put reality on the sidelines, if that makes sense. Because I see
where you're coming from. Yeah.
Oh, I just see a lot of people, especially in 2015, which I might label the year to be offended. Where you did see a lot of offense coming out of some things. It made a lot of sense. Other things had me kind of shaking my head, but I'm not from that background, so how could I know? And other things entirely was just me going, well, now you're just looking for something to be offended for, which was a lot of what I was seeing, especially through social media, things like that.
Well, yes, I think the internet is all about wanting to find something to be offended about.
Well, just the fact that you can't have discussions about very real topics and look at all the sides without all agreeing on what is the most politically correct and then moving on to the next discussion. Because if we were doing that, then it would have been, well, Caitlyn Jenner, obviously what she did was a great thing. She's brave and stunning, and she totally deserved Woman of the Year. Next subject.
Yeah,
Right?
I can see where you're getting, yeah.
Anyway, I've obviously I've taken my chunk of time with my little the rant, basically about political correctness, not really on identity or anything of that. I think this is worth the discussion because it's interesting.
It is.
My biggest point out of all of this is the fact that a lot of us can't have a discussion nowadays without just like, wait a minute, did he say something that liberal media didn't all agree on?
Just a Simpson moment. It's like something was said. Was it offensive? Was it aimed at me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yes, 2015, the year of offense. I think that's going to continue onwards and throughwards, and I think that social justice is a good thing. But I think that the voice of social media has gotten a little bit too loud, and I think reality is kind of being pushed aside a little bit when it comes to sometimes a very vocal minority in whatever it might be, being the most offended, and people kowtowing to that, and then, all right, that's another word we can't say, or another opinion we can't have, when really the most liberal thing is free speech, right?
Indeed.
And so I see a lot of hypocrisy in the whole thing, considering it is very freedom-leaning, all of these opinions, and yet then freedom of speech ends up being the one that gets really kind of shot in the back. without going into it. Anyway, let's move along. Godfrey, what was your defining moment of 2015?
When it ended, well, I guess the one thing I can never forget is the all the horrendous terrorist activity. I mean, Jesus, where did that all come from? Like,
ISIS.
well, we know
Yes.
where it came from. Like sorry, cutaway line, but it just seemed to. Well, Paris has really gotten the raw deal this year, or last year. They've been screwed over in many ways.
Yeah,
Very
Charlie
true.
Hebdo in January, and then later in the year, Paris attacks.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
sure we won't be going back to Paris anytime soon.
Well, I'll say that there is a lot of people through a lot of social economic means being very much disenfranchised by what they would see as, or maybe not what they would see as, except by what is by definition the pinnacle of the world as far as economics are considered, be the West. So we're seeing a lot of collateral damage, a lot of people dying in these countries. You get from that, for every quote unquote terrorist you kill, you create 10 more. The reality of that is that every time that you drop a bomb somewhere, people die. Those people have family, whether they were guilty or not of any kind of wrongdoing. It's no idea, except we know for a fact that there is a lot of collateral damage. And every time this happens, you create a vengeance string through those family members, and some of those people will use whatever excuse. Obviously, revenge is a great excuse unto itself, but one banner which over the years has rallied people towards this, whether or not what the true message of it is, people seem to rally around religion with this. So without vilifying any religion, even though all of these attacks were Islamic, that's obviously not to say that that the religion itself, even what it might say in its archaic texts, like there's texts in all of the religions which say terrible things.
Because they were all terrible back then. There was a lot of terrible things going on outside the religious beliefs and inside.
Well, exactly, and it was all written by men who didn't have an understanding of the world, how it works. We didn't have this great kind of almost comparatively utopian society that we live in now, which we all know is not, but comparatively. And so I think just through basic world building, a lot of these countries are still stuck in that time. Like you look at a Muslim country like Dubai, and they are a burgeoning almost slipped there, tourist spot. Heaps of money because of oil. They cater to their tourists.
And money, you said it there, money. That's what seems to be the motivation.
Yeah, exactly. And so exactly what I'm getting to is that you have these countries which don't have a lot of money in the world on the world scale. You've got a lot of disenfranchised people, which you'll see within any community. Look at the back streets of Compton, Africa, guerrilla soldiers, everything. When you have poverty, you create a system where people will end up resorting to barbarism to be fed, and with a lack of education as well. it only snow. You know, it's just a snowball effect.
On both
Yeah,
sides
we're just
of
seeing
the
that we're just seeing that on a much larger scale with ISIS. You know, I think it's been proven that Turkey pays them for the oil that has been for oil going into Turkey from captured oil refineries in Syria. Something to what I believe is, I need someone to back that up for me, something in the realm of $40 million a week or a month.
Jesus.
And so they were getting paid a lot of money. So they've got money, they've got they've got their caliphate. So, you know, that goes back to religion. But I would then say that anyone that uses religion as an excuse for their barbarism is either too smart or too stupid. What I mean is that either they're too stupid and they believe in the dogma 100%, and by that they mean that they actually believe that they will go to a certain place when they die, and everything here is just window dressing. And too smart is what I think maybe some of the leaders are doing, which is they know that they're using religion as a tool, much like it was and has been used in the past, to control masses beyond borders where because how do you beat a government's law? You've got God's law. That's how religion always has been. It's how it always will be. I won't wax lyrical about the good that religion does, because I think we all know that. It doesn't need to be said. But that's my stance on it, in so many words.
All right, that actually I think sums it up quite well.
Quite a lot.
I might just sit out on the next topic then. Sorry, guys.
Actually, we might have to call this this test session to an end. Veronica will most likely need to be going to work soon, and I need to come. So, yeah.
All right.
Sure we
Can I?
Tester.
Cool. Can I jump in just with one, because I just want to see your reaction to this. Let me just turn screen share on. Just read the caption. Yeah, just read the caption. This is just devastating.
Let's see that. Yeah.
It's kind of coming up sometimes.
Here we go. That should come up as a minute now.
Hang on. That's totally
okay? I see what looks like a homeless dude just hanging out. Maybe just a guy that broke his. Oh, did he drop his bottles?
He dropped his carton a minute after the bottle was shut on New Year's.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That dude's not getting laid tonight. That's all I can say.
Okay. Well, you know, forget Syria, forget Paris, forget the troubles of the world. I'm just going to put out my heart to this man.
This poor bastard.
This poor bastard. What timing, man. What a poor bastard. Can you imagine what was going through his mind? That's brilliance. That's a good addition, my friend.
I also have no sympathy for the bastard. Like, you know, seriously, go out and buy your carton a few hours beforehand.
That is a fair. That is a fair.
I mean,
no empathy. No empathy, Godfrey.
It's like, what time is it?
That's too fucking funny.
What about all of us last night going, is Domino's open? No, they're closed. It's 10:30. Oh, what about Hot Wok? No, it's 10:30. What about Red Rooster? That's 10:30. We've waited till the very end to actually try and get food on New Year's.
God, that's funny.
All right, gentlemen. Let's pull the pin on this one for as I said, for test footage.
Great. All right. Bye, everyone.
All right.
You can catch me on what? I don't know. You can catch me on nothing.
No.
Ciao.
Later.